chosen by destiny.
But in the end,
There can be only one.
Three indie comic campaigns enter, one campaign leaves. That's right. It's time once again to put indie comics through the gauntlet of glory, heartbreak, and maybe today a few lessons learned. Welcome to the comic book showdown of Ultimate Destiny. How are you doing, Smurf?
I'm fabulous.
I'm fabulous.
You need a different accent with that announcement. That was glorious, and I can only, I think back in the day of Richard Dawson in The Running Man. I think that we need that kind of production value.
Nice. I love it. Welcome, Dead Cosmos. There can be only one. That's right. Welcome to episode 71 of the Comic Book Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, where we help indie comic creators succeed by taking a deep dive into their campaigns and try to find areas of improvement, primarily on how they're pitching their comic, not necessarily about their comic. But if you got a comic campaign coming up and you want to get some feedback before you launch, be sure and check out our website, actionlinestudios.com, where we have a service called the Crowdfund Clinic, where we'll help you get that campaign polished up as best as we can. All right, so how has your week been, Mr. Smurf?
Crazy. Getting ready for Thanksgiving next weekend. We are doing our annual toy drive to benefit Hope Kids, which is a Castle Rock-based company that supplies wheelchairs to terminally ill children. So we have partnered up with Breckenridge Brewery, and we will be doing our toy drive the 28th, Black Friday, next week at Breckenridge Brewery off of Santa Fe to get toys for the tots, man. Let's put some toys in those kids' hands. We will have a Santa and a special reindeer on hand for photo ops on the 28th. Bring a toy, bring the kids, bring some laughs. We'll be there. We're Ghostbusters. Nice. That's what we do, right?
Who are you gonna call?
That's about it. Everything else has just been chaos, mayhem. This time change still screws with me. It's just
Time change is still screwing with you? In what way?
Yes, it's dark at 4:30. What the hell am I supposed to do? It's weird. You know what? We should be done with this stupid time savings thing. You know what? We can let people starve, but no. Let's not screw with daylight savings, you freaking morons. Nobody cares anymore. We're not an agriculturally driven country. But it's fine. I'm fine. You know what? I need more coffee.
Yeah, I will say it's really difficult to, like you get off work and you want to go out and walk and move your legs and get some steps in, or walk the dog even, and it's already dark and getting cold, and I hear it. Yep.
No other country does it, and I deal with stuff overseas. I'm doing, tradings and things like that. Big, highbrow stuff. Not really. But they don't do the shit. Why do we? I mean, come on.
Well, that probably could be a thing that our government us, but they're busy talking about other things right now.
They're not busy doing shit. Whatever. You know what? You know what they're busy doing? They're busy watching this show. They're busy reading the comic books that we suggest. That's what they're busy doing.
I would love to believe that.
No ego here.
Sadly, I watched this statistic, and of course, as soon as I start the show, Sam has appeared. Hello, Sam. I read
he's focused, huh?
He is. I read a sad statistic that 62% of Americans have never read a comic book.
How is that possible at this day and age? I mean, come on, really? I find that statistic. I mean, okay, but of how many people were polled, though? I mean, that's how big is the sample size? Because that's the always fun thing about statistics, based on your sample size. So if have 5 people in the room and only one has read a comic book, okay, your findings a little skewered. So I'm
Sure,
kind of curious
sure.
what the sample size is.
Yeah, I don't know. It was done at some study university. You having fun there, Sam? So, but yeah, I mean, I've always known that comics is a small sliver of the entertainment industry. Um, and I've always been curious, although it's just about impossible to get a rock solid statistic about not only like what sliver of the country is actually looking at reading comics, and then what of those people are reading and looking at indie comics, just to try to get an idea of like, what you're up against when you're looking at like, oh, I'm going to make a comic. I'm going to make some money on the side. Some people do, but most don't. And so it's about loving the medium and doing it because you want to tell your story. So got to keep that in mind. There's not a lot of people still reading comics, and it's sad because like to this day, still a lot of the bigger media, like television shows like Netflix and Paramount, they're putting out stories a lot of times from these indie comics, and so
Hmm.
um,
I mean, Netflix is even. No, it was Amazon. I saw another Critical Role based cartoon that they launched. It's the same people that did Vox Machina, and I'm
mhm.
like, so they're so desperate for original content that they're ripping off basically people sitting around playing a game. It's what it is. I was watching on Amazon. They've got people. They've got cameras. They even have a pianist sitting there playing while people are playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's like called the Purple Worm or something like that, and it's hilarious. But they're literally like level 1, 2 characters fighting dragons. I'm like, okay, well that's a quick end to that story. Matthew Lillard was on last night, and I'm like, I know these people love Dungeons and Dragons, but it just seems kind of like okay. There's other content out there to put on TV. I mean, just I don't need to sit and watch people play D&D.
Well, I will say they are desperate to answer Christoph's question here in the chat. He said, "Did the movie boom bring any curious readers?" So there is some good news for us comic creators right now. According to sales from the big companies, sales of comics are actually up as compared to what they were, before the movie boom. There's still a lot of readers. Um, and the actual film industry, Hollywood, is coming down a lot. This year has been a shit year for Hollywood. Everything they've tried to throw out has just done a lot worse
Should have
than
been
they
thrown out.
should have been thrown out. Yeah, I mean,
It
and
should
that's
have been thrown
largely
out.
due to the fact that most of it has been, sequels and remakes and things like that. The things that are doing well again are the fresh, new idea, independent kind of things. So
Yep.
that's another
Well, and
reason why
everyone's
storytellers like should get your comics out there, get people reading them. And your goal, even though on this show we're looking at the campaigns and we're trying to get you money so you can get your book out there, your goal should really be getting your book in the hands of as many people as possible, even if that means giving away digital copies so people read it. You want people to know about it, follow it, get interested in it if you think it's good. If you're just in it to like make money, then
good luck.
good luck.
You're,
Yes.
good luck.
Some people do
You're
it,
better
but
off going and doing that TikTok dream of you being a dance superstar than a comic book creator.
right?
Not all of us can be Dirk.
Yep. Not all of us can be as awesome as Dirk. Yep.
Not all of us can be as awesome as Dirk. But I mean, and it's weird because yes, we've seen the largest slump in Hollywood history, and there's a lot of things. I mean, streaming takes a huge chunk out of it. The political climate, they've alienated half of their viewership. So, and there isn't an original story to in miles. Horror's had the largest growth, but it's weird how that's all, come together. And the open of public domain, there are, and I talked about this in my podcast last week, there are 5 different Popeye horror movies out there right now. Bambi has a horror movie. All right, you tell me these people aren't hurting for content? Just go over to the public domain and just take a pic. Little Mermaid has a horror film. I mean, it is dangerous out there. We need creatives to be creative. Do what you do and get out there and talk to people. And if you can't talk to people, hire him or I, and I will be happy to chat you up.
Well,
for the low price of $9.95.
Let's get new stories out there. Let's stop rehashing things. Now I'm going to segue into a film that came out recently that I really thoroughly enjoyed, but this is going to be controversial, I'm sure. So I want to know what you guys in the chat think. But I did post about this. So you might know what I'm about to say. But I went and got to see the new Predator Badlands movie. Thank you, Smurf. And I actually really enjoyed it, and I think I appreciate that the creator, the director, whoever had the say in making this movie said, you know what we've been doing is not working. Right? We keep rehashing the same approach. We keep trying to make the same kind of movie. Let's take this franchise and look at it from a new perspective. And at first glance, people looked at it and they were like, that's not my Predator. That looks ridiculous. And that looks stupid. But then you watch the movie and you're like, okay, in 10 movies, I've never given a shit about a Predator until now. They made me care about a character. And there was just a lot going on there, and it was fresh and it was new. And so, like, if Hollywood is going to continue this trend of like, well, we don't have any ideas, let's rehash another one, at least put it in the hands of some creators that have some fresh ideas instead of just making the same shit. Because Predator 1 was like one of my all-time favorite monster movies. Predator 2 was all right, but not nearly as good. And then from there, it just kept going downhill. These last couple entries from Predator have really reinvigorated things for me for that franchise. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Smurf?
Well, and it's the same director that did. If you didn't watch Killer of Killers, the animated 3-story arc that was on Netflix, you're missing out. It's the same guy that did that, and I agree 100%. I thought this film was brilliant, and it broke the mold on what we understand as Predator, but we don't really know a whole lot about Predator. We know more about aliens than we do about predators. So to see them, culling the herd, everyone's like, well, he's too skinny, he's too small. It's exactly right. It's part of the story, and it really fuels into that. I just love that they're just blowing synths up left and right. That's why it's a PG-13. It's violent as fuck. It's great, but they're robots, so nobody cares. Instead of blood, it's milkshake explosions and everywhere, and it's absolutely wonderful. And I love the idea. I love the premise.
That's becoming a way to really up the violence, yet have it be low rating. There's a show called Murder Bots, where these robots are like teenagers and living teenage lives, going to school, but yet they used to be murder bots, and then there's other bots trying to hunt them. And so when they fight, they're like ripping off limbs, and there's like oil and whatever fluids they have flying all over the place, and it's all okay because they're not human characters. So that's another way to get the violence in there that you don't have to get an R rating for.
I mean, you don't have to get an R rating. It's fine. It's enjoyable. And I saw the behind the scenes for Ellie Fanning on how they Yoda herd to the back of the guy, and it's actually very inventive. It's not CG. It's a practical effect. I mean, they put a blue thing on her, and they strapped her literally to his back, and she's got wheels, and he just literally dragged her across the soundstage. Right. It's awesome. So, and Sam agrees. He's like, talking my language.
Yep. Yeah, like Josh Dead Cosmos says, the old Samurai Jack syndrome. They had a bunch of robots on that show as well to like
Nope.
slice and dice.
Nope. I
But
love
all right,
Samurai Jack. That's
speaking
one
of
of my favorites all time right there.
right, speaking of storytelling and new fresh stories, let's get into what this show is all about. Looking at new independent comic campaigns out there. Let's take a look at the contenders. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this chat for a second. We've got Luke, Bloody Tooth. This is Todd Rayner's book. I'm excited to see if it gets on the list because this is I think there are only like an hour or two left. I think they end at 1:00 our time.
Oh, wow.
Then we've got a returning book, Fisticuffs. I think this is for the trade. The Fisticuffs individual books have been on this show before. I look forward to seeing this. A brand new one called Ballad of the Black Rose. I'm digging the artwork on the cover. By the way, as I'm sliding through these, let me know which one of these really gets your attention as a thumbnail, because that's part of your marketing strategy, is getting people's attention with the thumbnail.
I like this. Is very McFarlane-esque, kind of Silvestri, classic comic artist. I like that a lot, actually. The colors and everything work well for me. I like that one a lot.
Then we've got Gerald's book, Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon. This one's getting close to funding and also close to the deadline. So it's a race to see if he's going to finish. We've got one called Infinite Souls, a Halloween tale. I think this is an anthology book. A new one, Exit Rebellion. I'm not familiar with this one. We got another new one, Plan 39 from Outer Space, a play on the old Plan 9 from Outer Space. Looks like it's already been funded. Looking forward to seeing what that one is all about. We got one called Teen Strike, another new one. And then from our good friend, Mr. Dirk Manning, we've got Tales of Mr. Ree, which is also doing really well. Can't wait to see that. Another returning one, John Dexter's book, Dinosaur Detective. Looks like it's in trade paperback format now as well, covering issues 1 to 5. Then we got another trade paperback, Ink Volume 1. A lot of trades on this show this week. And then lastly, this spicy-looking Hellbent for Leather. So that's a lineup. What do you think, sir?
I like it. Definitely you got some spice in there. Woo!
Yeah, especially there at the end.
I like the boobies. Save the boobies. Yeah.
All right, let's find out which one of these are going to end up on the wheel here. Do you feel like it's time? Is it time? Are we ready?
Oh, it's time. It's time, baby.
It's time.
Oh, do it!
Go!
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny!
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
All right, the first spin of the day. Let me go ahead and shuffle these real quick and then hit the spin. Which one's it going to be, Sam? Number 1 is going to be, looks like, Fisticuffs. Congratulations. Where's my marker? There it is. All right, we're going to copy that. I'll reach over Sam to my keyboard here. One of these days, he's just going to walk right across the keyboard. And then we are going to switch over to this tab instead. What did you just do? There we go. All right. There we have it. Fisticuffs, book 1 and 2 and 3 of 6. That's what it says.
Okay.
Book 1, 2, and 3 of 6. All right. The tagline says, how many alcoholic beverages can a man consume and still perform as a vigilante? Let's find out. Not safe for work, mature, 18 plus content. That's all the things. I feel like any one of those things would describe it.
Just going down the line. Let's see what alcoholic, yeah, nerd, yes, nude, yes, violence, yes. I like it. I like it.
Joe's with us. He says, fists of awesome.
Fists of awesome.
Yep. Okay, let's go here. We've got a goal of $2,200, which they have hit. So congratulations. They've raised $2,528 with 69 backers. What kind of math is that, Smurf? How many is that average?
Working.
Processing.
Oops.
Processing.
I gotta get to my page that has
Can't find
that.
his calculator app on his phone.
And my brain isn't doing math at the moment. Normally,
5
I could have
days
done that
to go.
already. I got 30. That's $36 per backer. So I mean, that's damn impressive.
Yes, that means that you can kind of tell that it's going to be a little higher when it is a trade paperback, because the books are going to be a bit more. Kenneth jumps in, says, "I heard 18 plus." Yep, that you did. Did you almost fall off the table just now? That would have been awesome.
And he's not even drinking.
Not yet, not that I know of. Maybe
Nope.
he's hopped up on the catnip. All right, let's see what this video tells us about fisticuffs and about this trade paperback. 28 seconds. Epic. Okay, well, there you go. So, for those of you who don't know what fisticuffs is, do you know now?
No, but I know if you're near death's bed that you can cop a feel and not get the taste knocked out of your mouth.
Yeah, we saw something like that going on.
I saw. There was a lot of grabbing going on.
It's vulgar.
A whole lot of grabbing.
Vulgar and violent and extreme, and written by a really nice guy. So says Mr. Matt Knowles.
Well, he's working out his demons, obviously. But what I do know is I like the art. I like the splash pages. I don't know how it relates to the story. I saw aliens, I think. Monsters. Again, lots of grabbing. And some dude fucking with his eye. So I mean, there's some interesting visualization going on, but I have no idea what this is about. It just, again, explosions! It really just feels like Borderlands meets drunken debauchery.
So I don't know how many of you guys know this name, because I learned about it in animation school, but there's an animator named Bill Plimpton who would like morph into like really grotesque things where like faces would pull off, and they used him on MTV a lot. And there was a couple shots in there that kind of reminded me of him. Benjamin says,
Peter Gabriel used him in one of his videos like way back in the day.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. Let's see. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying this, we need to get to 1 million subscribers, and we're so close.
So,
all right. So,
I mean, it's a trade paperback, so you're getting a lot of volume from. See, look, I love the art. I really do. And he's got the cut to jump things. I mean, he's taking full advantage, and I don't think. I mean, based on what I saw, that's as good a picture as like all the rest of them, except for we've got Thor hanging out in the background because he's got nowhere else to be right now.
It looks like a cross between Loki and Thor, because I see a hammer, but I also see some horns.
See some horns, right? Okay.
Yeah. So far for me, this is doing really strong with the visuals. Like the artwork looks great. The video had a fun tempo to it, kind of setting the tone of energy and excitement. The epic word came up, but it did feel like it, right? So far, I'm intrigued. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it, but obviously there's a part of me that's like, well, what is this? So I'm looking to see a little bit about what this is about. Here we've got.
So this is 3 single issues, not in a trade yet, according to the chat.
Right. So I think. I see what you're saying. It's Fisticuffs books 1, 2, and 3. So the word book kind of threw me off a little bit, and I thought it was a trade. So let's take a look. Dark comedy, gritty, normal, explosive action. 22 pages each issue. Crow.
Okay.
If you're a fan of The Crow, The Preacher, The Boys, or the work of Frank Miller or Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. Check.
Yeah. That's hitting all the buttons there. All right. Nick Rourke goes hard. Pre-game at the court-ordered meeting, get completely lit at the pub, and then end the evening with a spicy one-night stand. But what should have been the night of his life derails, and things take a deadly turn. Now, Nick will be forced to confront his inner demons, otherworldly monsters, and apparently a gang of cosplayers. So, there's a
oh no, not the cosplayers! Watch out for them!
There's a comedy kind of vibe there to it when
I like it.
But to be on a serious note, I've actually seen this exact same wording, I think, in a previous time when we saw Fisticuffs. So it's sort of like a copy paste from the previous campaign. And I think I remember saying this back then, that we're setting the tone for who Nick is. That's cool. Pre-gaming meeting, he's basically drinks a lot. And then things take a deadly turn. And he'll be forced to confront his inner demons. But I don't really have an idea what's at stake. What's that mean? So I feel like sometimes people are afraid to give too much away, or that's going to give the plot away. But I think it could help here a little bit to say, well, what does a deadly turn mean? Why is he being forced to confront his inner demons? Why are there monsters? Like a little bit more thing. And then what happens why does he have to confront them? What happens if he doesn't, if he just walks out the door? Right?
Yeah. What if I'm going to go back to the stool that I was just comfortably sitting at getting pounded?
Right. So what's the consequence of him not taking action? Things like that. Those are kind of things that can kind of clarify what's at stake, and what's going to go on. And then we've got this paragraph here. Fisticuffs is a culmination of a 20-plus year journey, personally and professionally. The story is intimately shared in the tradition of James O'Barr the Crow, while celebrating to the raunchy and submersive spirit of Preacher, The Boys, and Frank Miller. Right? And I'm totally on board with that. The artwork looks super fun. I love sort of the distorted faces of these characters.
Very, very Salmon Twitch. I do like it. I'm really digging the art. The artwork is absolutely a seller for me.
And honestly, one of the things I love about really stylized faces like this is that they can make a conversation page look really interesting. I cannot tell you, and I hate to say this, but sometimes in indie comics we're dealing with just starting out. I know that my first couple of issues were really struggling in several departments, but one of them is making conversation pages fun and interesting and to look at instead of just talking heads standing there over and over again. And this page is doing a great job of that. We have these crazy facial expressions. There's body language. He's got his finger pointing and he's different angles. He's coughing, burping. It's all kinds of interesting stuff going on, not just two heads talking. So great job on that, whoever is directing that. Then we got some action shots going on here. Here's that the crotch grab.
Grabbing. Lots of grabbing.
And then we've got a big demon here. So I gotta say the artwork's doing the heavy lifting here, because even though I really don't know exactly what the heck is going on with why he's going to be facing these demons or why he needs to deal with it instead of just go somewhere else and keep drinking. I'm still curious enough by this artwork and pulled in enough by this artwork that I don't really care. I'm still like, all right, I'm in, that's the thing is though, like you could probably, benefit from having strengths in both the wording and the imagery, right? If the wording was really like, hooking me just with words, which we've seen before, then you've got all your bases covered. Right?
I mean, even this right here, no words, and I get the whole story. I mean, I don't even have to add dialogue to this, and I get it. I mean, it's very, very masterfully done, I have to say.
Yeah. I love this shot on panel 3 here where you've got this guy that's standing behind him, like just sort of sticking his head out almost in a way that, where'd it go? Almost in a way that looks like a head is growing out of him. That's that Bill Plimpton stuff that I was thinking of. Very interesting stuff.
Yep.
I love the use of silhouettes. I've got a note on my drawing table that reminds me to try to put a silhouette shot on every panel. Because a lot of times, especially us that really like heavy details like myself, we tend to keep piling on details in every panel. And a good silhouette page gives the people's eyes a break to relax a little bit. So it's really, really nice. Then we've got some more monster shots here. Here's some like female heroine type of character floating in the sky, like just defeated this thing, dragging it by its tail. So yeah, very intriguing artwork. This is a 6-issue miniseries written by Fred, drawn by Stan Yak. There's the reasoning right there. I don't know how many of you guys know Stan. I worked with him on a book a while back. He's a phenomenal artist, and that explains a lot. And then Robert Nugent, who's colored a lot of Stan stuff, but also has colored a couple issues of Mythica. He's a great colorist. He's actually currently coloring Spawn. So there's some really big players on the art team here. So that's really, really showing through. Issues 1, 2, and 3 are each 22-page floppy issues that will be boarded, bagged, and shipped securely in a hardboard Gemini mailer. So there you go. There's the clear definition of what we're getting. So over here on the pledge rewards, we've got, looks like an individual PDF of issue 1, then issue 2 and issue 3. Each one of those is $4, except for the new one, I guess, is $5. So if you already have the first couple, you can just get the third one. Then we have all 3 together for $10. That's a good deal. Then we have the individual issues. Cover A, cover Fisticuffs Book 2, cover A, cover 3A. Then we've got some variant covers for issue 3. So this is sort of just a unique way to say this is our third issue. Basically, this is for the issue 3 campaign, but they've packaged it in a way that's like all 3. And so I think that's working well.
Well, and I think it's they're not alienating the people that are aware of them, from new people. And I mean, they definitely approach this to ingratiate the fans that are supporting them, but also, hey, come to the side, see what it's all about. Come and get groped. I mean, that actually should be a tagline. Join the rest of us to get groped.
Come get groped. So check out this. We've got I think that's Marvel editor Dan DiDio, isn't it?
Yeah, Diodato. Yeah, that's
Fisticuffs brings a raw and visceral style of storytelling designed to assault and entertain your senses. I love it. All right, back over here to the rewards. Retailer bundle. Another retailer bundle. 3 cover C Limited variant cover by Create Kiss Kiss and Digital Catch Up, and lots of other goodies. We're still only in the $30 range. retailer bundle. I'm still trying to see what else we got going on here. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and then work my way up. I want to see some of these bigger ones. We got 100. We got 150. We got 350. Can I get 500? 550. 550.
550. There we go.
There we go. $550. What do you get? Do you not like to share the spotlight with strangers? Would you like a memory with your friends or family that will forever call your parenting into question? Earn up to 5 spots on a variant drawn by the one and only Staniak for you and yours. Only 2 of these available. So not only can you get you and your loved ones drawn, but drawn by Staniak, which means if you're the writer or a creator of a comic, take note of that. So Stan's already being paid to illustrate the book, and then he reaches out and he says, "Hey, I got some ideas for a cover for a reward. Would you be willing to do that? Do you have time to do that?" And now you've got this big $550 reward tier, right? I'm sure he's got to give a hefty part of that to Stan, but still, that gets you to goal and really quickly.
And again, that's like I'd probably pay Stan that just to do a remark for me on a book or a full freaking variant blank sketch cover. I mean, come on, that's a deal, especially for Stan. Guys, fucking awesome. Sorry.
Speaking of remarks, $350 cover cameo, perfect gift cover in mind for you. The only thing missing is you. Earn a special spot on a variant drawn by the one and only Stan. Only 5 spots available, and you get one of everything. And it says note excludes remarks.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
I like the title of this one, the El Fistamundo. Fist the world. Get one of everything associated with books 1, 2, and 3, including the limited covers available only on the Kickstarter campaign and the PDF covers. That's pretty good. 23 total items included for $150. So there's some good deals here. What's surprising me, I guess more people don't know who Stan is because Stan's more of a like nose to the grindstone kind of artist. He doesn't get on social media all that much, but all 3 of these bigger bundles are good deals, right? Not only do you get the artwork from Stan, but you also get all the stuff, all the books, and no one's taken any of them.
I mean, if I can compare Stan to anybody, it would be Art Germ. I mean, Art Germ's another one of those guys that his artwork is gorgeous, but he doesn't hardly pop up unless it's a con or he hasn't been to the con before. So he'll like do one and then that's it, and then move on. So Stan and Art Germ are very similar with their work ethic and their skill set. So that's a deal. I'm telling you right now, that is a deal.
Yeah, so most of the people are hovering at those lower levels, the 30 and 40 and under. So, man, this is an opportunity to get some cool work. Check out this piece of art. I think this is from the interior of this character, like ripping this creature apart. That's classic Stan stuff. Lots of splattering. I love it.
No, great detail.
All right, that was pretty fun. What did you guys think of Fisticuffs? I thoroughly enjoyed that. But now we must return back to the wheel of destiny to spin again and see who will be chosen. Are you ready?
Spin that wheel!
Wheel number 2 is gonna be it's Gerald's.
Love and Death.
Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, I didn't write it all out because it was just a really long title. All right, let me pull that up over here on the thing. If I can type around Sam trying to headbutt my hands. I see. There we go.
Love, Death. No robots? No, that's another show.
That's another show. That's another show.
I love that show, though.
It wants me to reload it. So let me stop sharing that one and share it again. There we go. Very good. Very good. All right. This one, I mean, if you guys know Gerald's another one of those hardworking artists. Not only is he a hustler, like he gets a lot of work done. Just in the let's see, about 2 years that I've known him, he was on the show very early on. He's done at least 4 or 5 different books with different creators. So keeping up with his own books, but also working with other creators. And on top of that, he's going back and forth from here to Italy like 3 times a year for his family. So he keeps on going. So yes, as Matt says, pitting some heavy hitters against each other today. It's going to be a tough call today. All right. So let's see what Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon has to tell us. It says a sci fairy tale. I like that. A sci fairy tale. Why is it not zooming in? There it did. It did zoom in. Cursed to darkness or to become a monster, Nero must find the light within his 100-page sci-fi original graphic novel and web series.
Well, at least we know how many pages it is, and hopefully it's a happy ending.
Right? All right. We do know it's 100 pages. We know it's sci-fi. We know it's drawn by Gerald von Stoddard. The cover already looks good. I love the expression on her face. It's very, oh no, I'm in trouble.
Very Fairchild from Gen 13.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, for sure.
Totally felt that right away.
It's on the Projects We Love stamp. And let's take a look over here with their goal. They have a goal of $9,999. 100-page sci-fi graphic novel. 192 backers. So
$42 per backer.
What?
$42. $42.
$42 per backer. So again, we're hitting those larger numbers, so we can get these big books made. They cost a bit more. So let's see what this video tells us.
In the near future, as the Earth's sun begins to die, a research station is built on the dark side of the moon. A child is born with a dangerous anomaly.
Hi, I'm Gerald von Stoddard.
And I'm Frank Martin.
Wait, that's not right.
Hey, I'm Gerald von Stoddard.
And I'm Frank Martin.
And we're the creators of Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon.
I want you to join us for this exclusive graphic novel event live right now on Kickstarter.
Love and Death is a sci-fi epic about what it means to be human in the most desolate and isolated of places.
It follows a boy named Nero, the byproduct of an experiment gone wrong, who has been cast aside and forgotten. But he finds connection throughout the years with a girl who refuses to see him as the monster everyone else does.
As a 100-page graphic novel, we'll also be releasing Love and Death as a monthly web series where all backers are invited to join Frank and I and be part of our process following Nero's journey as it unfolds.
We've got a couple different versions of the book available, including prints and behind-the-scenes material that expands the universe with lore and add-ons.
Join us during the campaign for exclusive access to this one-of-a-kind graphic novel event.
And there we have it.
All right.
So, one thing that immediately intrigued me, about their pitch was what they said about it's still going to be released as individuals. So I'm a little I'm intrigued, but also confused by that. So like, if I buy a graphic novel, I buy the 100 pages. Am I getting those? I think these answers will be answered down below probably, but if I buy the book, am I going to get those, or am I going to be part of some sort of online forum where I'm just going to look at them being made? I'm not really sure yet. You guys might know the answer.
Because the way it was explained, it sounds like, okay, you buy the graphic novel, but the story is continuing online and you'll be part of it, or if you don't jump in, then you're not part of it, or are you expected to pay as the story progresses online? So I don't know if by backing this particular campaign, you are immediately privy to access to the web series that continues after this. Is how I took it, but I don't know if that's accurate. But it made it was just, it's a little muddled there as far as they're trying to explain it successfully. So at any rate, we are looking forward to more stories as the web series continues, which I assume would eventually be put together in one big package.
Right.
Maybe.
So as far as the video goes, I agree with Matt. This video had a lot of things, but they put it together in a very clean way. There was some introduction about what this book was about at the beginning in a very storytelling way with the moon and the space station and all that. We had a narration voiceover. I could hear it really well. Then we had a really brief but fun intro of the two creators. They didn't dive into, I've been creating books for 20 years and I love books, right? And I know Gerald's got those stories, but he was just like, I'm him and he's me, and now let's move on. I really appreciate that. They made it fun. And then they got into like the premise of what you're getting. And so it's very informative. Like I didn't even realize the video time had passed by the time it was done, because it kept me interested. It kept changing and moving. There was never a time like, okay, get on with it. You know. What are your thoughts, Smurf?
No, and I agreed. I was crossing my fingers because the second they cut to themselves to introduce, one another, I'm like, God, no, please don't do this to me. I admire you. I don't care about who you are. As much as I love you and you're an amazing creative, and I appreciate your contribution to the field. I already know who you are, and I don't care. But I do like how they kind of just introduced themselves, glossed right over it. We're doing this. Sit down, enjoy. It did have a lot of, the joke earlier, Love, Death, and Robots. It does have a very intro to that series feel. I can see that the inspiration from that has affected this video and influenced it in specific directions that I think work extremely well for the story and what they're trying to relay in regards to the campaign. So I think that was a very smart choice. It's immediately recognizable. You've got everyone's attention. You guys yucking it up and having a good time even shows more of what we can look forward to when we're reading the story. So I think the whole package as a delivery system was spot on. The only thing I'm curious about is that intro with the web series and all that. I think that could be ironed out a little bit better, a little more clear as far as the direction on that. But other than that, damn.
Well, we might be getting a bit of clarity on that down below. We don't know. Dead Cosmos says we should start calling you Honey Badger because you don't give a fuck. I don't care.
I don't care. I do care, but I'm very specific in my cares.
All right, let's see what the information down below tells us. Let's keep things moving. We stand with Kickstarter United. Love, Death, and On the Dark Side of the Moon, created by Gerald von Sutter and Frank Martin. Here's some beautiful cover art. I love this the graphic design work here with the 100-page full color. The mock-up of the book. I can tell this is a mock-up, but it still looks nice. Those little touches add a lot to people getting an idea of like what they're gonna get. Then we've got the premise. Already heard the part about the station. Someone go to the second part. It says, feared by the crew and treated as an accident, the boy is named Nero and raised in isolation. When the station is abandoned, he is left behind, alone and forgotten. Years later, a monstrous figure leaves the moon, a cosmic force of darkness heading for Earth in a rage-fueled apocalypse. Humanity's only hope is to reach the heart of the void. So, I don't know how those two things tie together. Like, one is a boy that gets raised in isolation and abandoned behind the station. I get that. The other part is a monstrous figure leaves the moon. Years later, I think he's trying to say he is the leaving.
So after years of isolation and self-loathing, he basically somehow becomes imbued with cosmic power and now is about to set loose a can of retribution on the Earth. And I like that idea. That's like World War Hulk. Hulk comes back after getting exiled and stomps a hole in every single hero he can.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
So Kickstarter exclusives, softcover edition, manga digest edition, hardcover edition, original webisodes of the graphic novel, Kickstarter limited 20-page issue 0 preview. At Third Contact Comics, Frank Martin and Joe Von Stoddard have been putting their minds together to develop unique stories such as Norse Horror and Immortal Coil and their thriller 1,000 Cuts. And by the way, I've seen both of those books. They're both very good.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them has brought their own vulnerabilities, weakness, and heartache to this very human tale about... Whoop. Okay. Thought I just was about to drop something. Whoop, I did. I dropped it anyway. Hold on. He disconnected my camera.
Yeah. You're completely gone, sir. You are a disconnected voice. Yep. So
keep talking.
Yeah, each of them front. Yeah, so I mean, they kind of go into their history with comics and all of that. I don't think this is necessarily about the story. This is just more of like the history of the guys and where the story came from. So, I mean, all in all, I guess that's fine. But I want more about what we're dealing with than past accolades. Personally.
Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to...
You're just not visible.
Remove myself and come back in and see if it fixes the video.
And in the meantime, Smurf is left in charge. So, hello. But, no.
Nope, I don't know. I'm not really sure... Everything's plugged in. I don't know what happened.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear me though, right?
I can hear you. You're good.
All right. I'll figure it out later. I don't know. Fucking cat probably stepped on something. Everything's still plugged in. I don't know. The light for the camera is on. So,
yes, welcome to the Smurf Show. Yay! But I mean, we get kind of like the brief introduction to what the story is. But see right there, I'm more interested in that than I love the artwork and everything, but I don't. So okay. I just think I don't think the accolades and all that need to be where it is. I would think that would be positioned further down. What are the rewards and all of that for this?
So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the whole becoming part of the thing.
The online, yeah, because that still doesn't. Okay, well maybe with the digital deluxe, does it explain it better in there?
I don't know. Let's see. So digital deluxe, digital only reward tier. Receive the digital edition web series of Love, Death, and Dark Side of the Moon. Monthly chapters will be made available during the book's production and access to backer-protected site will be made available. You'll also receive any and all digital stretch goals we unlock. So, it does sound like you're going to get it as it's being made.
Okay.
They have a lot of digital backers there, 61 digital backers for that tier. Then we have the starter bundle, gives you the complete story, the 100-page soft cover, the 20-page single issue of issue 0, and the digital deluxe monthly web series. So
keep going down. So is this mostly a digital format? Are we getting printed?
Yeah, so
material?
that one that I just mentioned, you're getting the 100-page soft cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is. I didn't see it.
But you're also getting the 20-page single issue of issue 0 and the digital deluxe with the monthly web series. So you're getting what's going on as it's going. So then we have the same thing in manga size instead of the full size, which is like 6x9. And then we have cover A, soft cover wraparound, includes the digital web series. So this one just doesn't have that issue 0 floppy. Then we have a hardcover for $35, a slipcase edition hardcover, fancy, $65. Plus you get the digital web series, a signed book, like a metal bookmark, a 6x9 print, all the stretch goals, digital wallpapers, Love and Death Helios collector's kit. Collector's box filled with Love and Death goodies, wraparound cover, monthly web series, signed print set, digital wallpapers. It does include the wraparound softcover book. I was like, wait, which book does it come with? A retailer bundle, become a character for $160. That's pretty good with all this stuff. You get the wraparound cover, a digital sketch of you in character, includes
Just
issue
5
0.
of those? Yeah.
So you get all that stuff for $160. No one's jumped on board with that yet. A Love and Death commission bundle for $350. A limited edition commission, full watercolor mixed media 9x12 commission, character of your choosing. That's plus all the other books and issue 0 and digital stuff and bookmarks. That's a good deal. And then we have the early bird stuff. All right. So Dylan says, I love they're including a manga digest. I actually got a manga digest version of one of his last books just to see what it was like. I'd show it to you, but my fucking camera's not working for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
I think that's just a preference. Like some people can only read hardcover books versus paperback or mass-produced paperback, and it just kind of depends on your style. I do like it. Also, probably saves on money if it's a manga size edition. So I think that's cool. Kind of something different that no one else is doing that. So, and I think it might appeal to other readers, somebody that wouldn't notice this, that is probably more manga focused. If they saw it, they'd be like, oh, hey, and then they get sucked. They get hooked. Ha-ha! Hook them when they're young.
Did you say they get sucked? Just checking.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Just checking. All right, guys. I really love the artwork on this book. I love the premise. I love the story. If I was to give any feedback on this that can be improved, it would be a little bit of clarity. I feel like there's a little indecision going on with the reward tiers. I'm a little confused about things. And if I am, I'm sure I'm not the only one. So you guys might look at it until we, get it. But I was a little confused. And so, I feel like that clarity might be or that confusion might be happening with some other people too. So that would be the only thing I would say. Might need to improvement.
That's it. That's the only, I agree. Because everything else is on point. So I can't. I wish I had more to input, but that is it.
So yeah, this is going to be a tough decision. Already, we've got Fisticuffs and Love and Death, which both look good. So it's tough choice. All right, let's go to our third and final entry of the Wheel of Destiny. Spin that wheel, baby.
Spin it! Spin it!
Spin it. Number 3 is gonna be another returning book, Dime Store Detective from John Dexter. We did not get Dirk's book up today. I don't know how much time is left, but be sure and go check out all of these different comics. Tales of Mr. Reeve from Dirk, Plan 39 from Outer Space, Ballad of the Black Rose. Luke Bloody Tooth number 2 only has about 30 minutes left. So be sure, if you don't know anything about that book, you go check that one out. Then we've got Exit Rebellion, Hellbent for Leather, this very spicy looking book, Ink Volume 1, and Teen Strike. Some of these might be on the wheel next week. We'll see, but some of them are definitely not going to be. All right, let me go pull up here Dime Store Detective. While Smurf entertains you, since you don't get to look at my face.
That's my new TikTok dance.
There it is, Dime Store Detective Volume 1. Let's see if it'll let me share this tab.
There are no ties in the Wheel of Destiny. There's only one! Ugh! But yeah, it's going to be a tough fight.
I know.
Just, you know. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it wants me to try again. It doesn't like things today. It's just,
again, everything is just cranky because it decided to rain and not snow, and it just wheezed the whole gig.
Yep. All right, let me try this again. Share this tab instead. There we go. Nope. What is going on? One more time.
Yeah. Hey. Teases. Wow, look at
that. All right, you going to stay working this time? Okay. Man, there are some weird things happening today. My camera says it's on, but it went out. But we're still going. The show must go on. All right. My face is forever lost in limbo. Yep. All right. Dime Store Detective, Volume 1. Graphic novel covers issues 1 through 5 in this supernatural crime mystery spanning 40 years. They have a goal of $2,000, and they've already hit their goal. They're at $21.78 with still 13 days to go. So they're right on track. 53 backers.
Average is $41 for funding. So not bad. I mean, again, with it being a collected edition, I'm sure that there's lots of pages of tastiness, and it's not cheap to produce something like that.
Pages of tastiness.
Pages of tastiness. I'm just full of these weird little crutch phrases today.
Yeah, like they're going to get sucked.
They're going to get sucked, and I'm selective in my cares. I think Dirk loved that one most of all.
Right? Dirk says this is a proud Source Point Press selection. All right. Let's see what this video tells us. Maybe I can also fiddle with my camera while we watch it. All right. What did you think, Smurf?
Oh, that was boring.
Oh no.
I mean, okay, so I know it's a detective story, so it's a bit of a slow burn, and I get that.
Right.
But and the audio for the music, I don't know if it's fluctuating because of internet issues or what have you, but the music seemed a little delayed or whatever. But the slide with the words, I honestly think you could have added some gravitas to what we're seeing with the
Mm-hmm.
proper voiceover. And that's just not me saying because I'm a voiceover artist, but I really think that it needed to add something to it because I don't know what I just saw. I mean, I know what I saw, but from a perspective of first time viewer, I don't know what I'm watching. I mean, we just who's this? Why is this person in a body bag? Is this part of the story? Is this the current story? And the flashback and all of that. I think if you're going to do a collected edition, you should focus on the beginning, how it ends, and some fun stuff in between. Because you're losing, I think, a major part of viewers or backers by just this slow burn. I think if this had been anyone else, I probably would have just switched. Like, okay, the art's cool, I like that, but that would have been it because it was. I was looking for a little bit more engagement, a little more energy, a lot more energy, actually. If there was more energy, I think that this would turn out differently, personally.
You're right. I mean, it is difficult to. One of the things that I always, have to think about is like there's any kind of comic book that you can imagine, any kind of story can be turned into a comic book. But I've mentioned this before. Most people read comics for the visual entertainment aspect of it. They want to see boom, bang, pow. And so some books are harder to sell. And so like I always ask my clients, when they're like, oh, I want to do this out of a comic book. I always ask them like, why do you want to make this a comic book? Why is it important that it's a comic book instead of just a novel? Right. And so I think that there's a lot of cool visual effects going on that could be shown here that we didn't get a lot of glimpse of. But hopefully, I am intrigued about the detective story. So I definitely want to, kind of see a bit more.
And it's hard when you're dealing with a detective story, especially because like this last week, Spider-Man Noir #2 came out, and it's hard to tell a detective noir story and how do you tease it properly and how do you get the readership behind it because you're building up to a larger crescendo while you're trying to keep people engaged and subterfuge and tell a proper detective style story. So a perfect example is Batman. Batman is a detective. So what's the mystery? What are you trying to solve? The basics: who, what, when, and where. Just I would focus on that for the video versus what that was.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look down quickly at the story. We can see over here on the left that we are not using any of the jump points underneath that word that says risks. That's where your jump points would be. And again, this isn't a feature that's necessary, but imagine we know this is a volume 1 trade, so it's a collection of stories. I think there's 5 issues this is collecting. And so if you're a returning backer, you know the story. I don't need to sit here and read the story. So it would be really nice to be able to just jump to the thing that I am interested in rather than having to scroll and scroll and scroll. So that's why those jump points are there. So let's see. Detective Donald McKinder is a cop who is short on friends and time as he investigates a serial killer who has displayed his latest victim over the burial grounds. McKinder's father, Bobby, and Uncle Ricky buried multiple bodies 40 years ago. It's a little bit wordy there. Dime Store Detective flashes back and forth from the present to 1981 when Donald McKinder's father and uncle were embroiled in a moonshiners war with a rival gang. In 1981, the McKinder brothers are feared and respected moonshiners in North Georgia. When a rival gang attempts to force the brothers out of business, it results in an all-out war. While searching the Appalachian Mountains for a new hiding spot for their still, the McKinder brothers inadvertently release an evil entity that has been trapped in a cave for hundreds of years.
Okay, didn't get any of that in the video. None of that came through the video.
Yeah, I think that part right there is your hook, right?
That's the hook right there, baby.
While searching the Appalachian Mountains for a new hiding spot for their still. So, like, you might need to say, while searching for the Appalachian Mountains for their new hiding spot for their still, the McKinder brothers inadvertently release an evil entity that has been trapped in a cave for hundreds of years. That's a good hook. That has intrigue. I might clarify that they are moonshiners, a couple of moonshiners unleash an evil entity, you know? So...
because that is the perfect setup right there. And you could even lead in a little bit more after, you know, a feud gone wrong or an altercation with, you know, with Donald's family looking for a new place. I mean, you could still integrate both that, but you can eliminate all of that, do a voiceover, throw it up at the front, give us some flashes of the fight, the current day, and then going back to the demon that's released. And I think you would accomplish a lot more than what that video is doing. I think that would up your backers exponentially. Because I had no idea that there were demons. Did you?
Right. Only based on the cover seemed to be sort of alluding to that. Right. So Out of Touch one brings up something interesting too. So apparently what I'm getting so far is that Detective McKinder was once a moonshiner. Long time ago. And during that time, they inadvertently released an evil entity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, back then. Maybe hundreds of people died. Who knows? But now in present day, he's a detective in a bigger city. And it says here, he finds evidence that this evil force may have returned once again. Right. So this is probably another, this is the other half of your pitch.
Yep.
And so a lot of the other stuff is a little bit, convoluted. So the only thing that's missing here, if you use these two sentences, these guys inadvertently released an evil entity, and now this detective, years later, feels like it's back. And so, it's up to him to stop it. Can he stop it? Right. Yeah. I think the only thing that's missing, like the Out of Touch one has mentioned in the chat, is, something about the characters. So we know he was a moonshiner once and he's a detective now, but I don't really know anything about him. Is he a drunk? Is he, that's kind of a stereotypical detective trope, I guess, but, and what makes it that, he's the one, that has to do this. How's he tied together? But
the ownership of it and all of that. I get the feels on this, and a lot of people will probably miss this connection, but Kolchak, the Night Stalker, I'm really getting a lot of feels of the same kind of story. He was a reporter, but he always ended up, with the paranormal and the weird and all of that, but he just couldn't prove it. It was a TV show. It's been a comic book series for a lot of years, but I'm getting that kind of vibe. And I think if you leaned into some of those ideas, and you're still grounded with the humanity, but again, I agree with the dark one. If we had at the end of that video, a flash of the creature of what did they unleash, and just boom, like a quick flash, one panel of the monster, that would have been ooh, that would be an excellent close to the long, slow burn.
Or even
That'd
just
the
aftermath of the monster, like a room full of torn apart bodies or something, and how's he gonna find this, solve this? Another thing could be in the beginning it says brothers, right? And so maybe I don't know, but maybe now he's got to do it without his brother. And so that's another aspect. In the beginning, they were able to stop him or it cost him his brother's life, and now he's got to do it without his brother. So there's a lot of
Yeah, but
potential hooks here.
yes, I
This
think
cover,
you're burying the lead. You are burying. It's been a while since I've seen that, but you're burying the lead on this one. Lean into it, embrace it.
Right.
There you go. Sorry.
Let's see here. I love this cover. The colors work really well. The purples against the yellows and oranges. Really striking, good-looking cover.
Yep.
So if you're a fan of LA Confidential or True Detective, you'll love this crime mystery. And so then we've got some great-looking artwork. And so this is one of those things we were just talking about, right? In the last, I think it was the first one on Fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some conversation pages, and they were very visually intriguing because one guy was burping, and there's a lot of expression on the lady's face. And then here we've got some really beautifully rendered artwork, but look, they're just sort of standing.
Mm-hmm.
They're just having conversation. And so and sometimes you need those scenes in your book, but one, you should try to make them as visually interesting as possible. Have them doing something, obviously, that he's getting in the car. But also, if you have all the pages in your book to choose from to promote your comic, is this conversation page where they're just standing having a conversation the most hooking and intriguing of the pages that you have? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I'm working on a new script or a new book, I immediately think, okay, which one of these pages are going to be a good one to use to promote this book? And a lot of times, if I'm drawing myself or if I was a writer and I was going to hire someone else, I'd say, hey, draw these first so that I can use these as promo material because they're exciting and intriguing and make good hooks,
Right.
you know.
Splash pages.
So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential here with the monsters and what's going on here. We've got some flashback and some sepia tone grayscale. I like how they handled the flashback look. The artwork looks solid. It's just some more expression maybe would make it more intriguing. I don't know.
No, and I do like this idea as far as how to differentiate the time difference of, you know, it looks older. It looks like where this is back in the day so that the reader doesn't get lost. I like this approach and touch a lot. I think that's very complimentary to the story and helps the reader keep up with what's going on. So I like that. That's brilliant.
Okay, so let's get into the rewards before we sign off here. Digital version, $14 for what is that? 5 issues of comic. That's a pretty good deal. Get Dinosaur Issues PDF, $30. You receive Dime Store Detective 1 through 5, plus an all-new bonus story. You also get the digital version and any stretch goals. I always like when they include the digital version. So $30 for essentially 5 comics and an extra comic. That's a pretty good deal. Dime Store Detective Volume 1 signed. So same thing, but only signed. And over here on the right, you can see it's an even split. He's got 30 for the regular 17 for the regular and 17 for the signed one. So apparently that worked. Then we've got the Everything Digital bundle, which means that you're not only getting this book, but the other books from this publisher, Alpha Dogs and Space Cruising, which is like 15 comics or something like that altogether. It's a pretty good deal.
All right. It's a good deal.
Then you get the collection physical, and then a mega bundle that's got all the things, all the books from all the different things. And the variants and so on and so forth. And then you can see there's the variants there. And a virtual meet and greet for $150. Let's see. Meet and greet Zoom with creator John Dexter includes a Zoom meet and greet. Dime Store Detective Volume 1 signed and all the digital PDF stuff that comes with it. Somebody jumped on board with that one. And that looks like to be the final one. There's a mega bundle for 120, and then there's the meet and greet. Okay. So what do we think of the reward tiers?
I like them. I mean, I think there's a lot of value, especially when you're dealing with that many comics. And I mean, we've seen single digital issues for $14, let alone a whole series, 5 issues for $14. I think is great. I mean, all of this is on point. I don't think that they've left anything out, even like whale tiers. I don't know what you would do at this stage. I mean, short of like your own sketch cover of a character that you like, or a sketch cover of the monster, since we don't know what that looks like, then that's kind of shrouded in mystery. Right. I would offer that up as maybe a potential another whale tier, but I think the virtual one is new, and I like that. The sit down for 150, that's easy. That one I totally do, and I can see why that one went, because I think that in itself is quite the bargain. I think that is well executed.
Yep. All right, now we come to the hard part of the show where we have to determine which one of these we're going to back. But first, speaking of support, and let's get a word from our sponsors. Let's talk about fulfillment for a second. You've worked your butt off to get your comic made and crowdfund your book. Now you're faced with sorting, packing, labeling, shipping, and tracking potentially hundreds of backers. Fulfillment can make or break your indie comic campaign. It can be downright overwhelming, especially if you're a one-person operation. That's why we're excited to share that our new sponsor, Gemini Mailers, now offers full-service fulfillment designed specifically for independent comic creators. They're offering fulfillment starting at just $2.50 per order, including Gemini's premium mailers shipping at cost. No markup storage, no monthly minimums, so you can ship in waves if you want. They even have custom packaging options like shrink wrap, filler pads, and more. These guys get it because they've been mailing our comics for years. And now they built a warehouse operation that's already helping creators like us fulfill campaigns smoothly. So if your next campaign feels like it's going to bury you in boxes, be sure to check out GeminiComicSupply.com. This isn't just shipping, it's peace of mind. All right.
How are you going to do this?
I guess I'm just going to do it audibly. or here, I got an idea. I can share the
share the thumbnail. Yeah, share the thumbnail of you when you choose.
Okay. So,
all right, you got that? I like that plan.
That's the plan. All right. Okay. So, do you have yours chosen?
Yep.
All right. So I think I've chosen mine. Again, this was a tough call.
This is extremely tough. This is probably the hardest one we've had in months.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and put double screen here. Nope. Can't do that. Got to figure out how I'm going to share mine and you share yours at the same time. There we go.
Well, we could just count down to 3 and then you just cut to the art.
Yep. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. Hey, we did it. Fisticuffs. That's the one I chose as well. We're on the same page. Good job.
On the same page.
Yep.
Well, and it's a difficult decision, but let me tell you why I went with Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
All of these presentations have been great. They're on point. But I think when it came down to not a lot of questions at the end of it, very to the point, very precise, I think Fisticuffs delivered a lot more of a cohesive pitch. The only reason Dark Side of the Moon didn't get it was just because of the explanation for the digital and all of that. I think if that was a little bit more laid out or explained a little bit clearer to me, I would have probably gone with that one. Because that was just absolutely great. And then Dime Store Detective, I mean, I'm totally in, but I think you're missing the mark by not giving us a monster reveal.
Yeah, I feel like the pitch on that one was not like you said, they buried the lead on like what this was the most important thing it was about, and they missed out on that. But
yes, Dead Cosmos, those are boxing gloves. Those are boxing gloves, okay? I'm not an artist.
All right. So thank you guys all for watching. If, like I said, if you want to get your book reviewed before you launch, be sure and go to actionlinestudios.com and check out the section about Crowdfund Clinic. Also, you can check out my comic there. Mythica has 9 issues, both available in digital and physical formats, as well as some trade paperbacks. There's also t-shirts and all kinds of other cool goodies. Be sure and like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're trying to get, 1 million followers and become super famous. But it actually does help keep the lights on. And apparently it helps keep the camera on as well, maybe. I do feel like I figured out the issue on that. It's just I got one of those extender USB extenders that you plug in one USB and then you can plug in like 5 more into it, kind of like an extension cord for power outlets. And I think it went out like right in the middle of the show because I like plugged it into other ones and it's still not working. But yeah. So where can they find you, Smurf, and see us out?
You can find me at 5280geek.com, 5280geek on Facebook, 5280geek on Instagram. My podcast, Weekend Geek Update, is available on all major podcasting platforms. Last week I did talk about one of the things we brought up here as far as IPs becoming horrors and films and the greater good of why that is. I don't know. I have my own theories, and of course a little bit more of my take on the Predator Badlands film. And other than that, give us a like, give us a share, because we are here for you. No, not really. And on that bombshell, we shall say goodbye. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.